We're about to enter Vatican City. We're gonna get a tour of the Vatican. To go through a metal detector first. We all have these fancy secret agent earpieces in. So there is the Duomo St. Peter, and that was the last thing constructed by Michelangelo. He died. He was constructing it when he was 89, and he passed away before it was finished. And obviously we're not going to be able to film inside again. It's going to be another situation like that. I'm really excited that we're going to see the Sistine Chapel. So ever since I was in middle school and I was taking art classes, I really liked the image of the creation of Adam in the Sistine Chapel. And I would always recreate the part of the painting where their fingers were touching in their arms. I love the muscles and the veins that you could see, the whole anatomy of the figures. And last time I was in Rome, I really wanted to see the Sistine Chapel, but it was too expensive and we didn't have time. And I was so upset. Now we're back in Rome, and I'm going to have a chance to see it for the first time.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Now the word is turning. The small word into the big one.
So you can see on some of the statues that the little packages are missing on some of the men, and that's because at some point in history they thought it was inappropriate to have it, so they cut them all off of the statues. We asked the tour guide, and she said somewhere around the museum there's a box of penises. And she said it was hard to identify whose belonged to who, so they can't exactly put them back on.
Because you know, when gold and silver are pure, they can be reduced to filigree. And the filigree was wooden with silk, cotton, and wool, and it's kind of effect. The white and blue mantles, it's pure silk.
These tapestries are actually woven with gold and silver, which makes them extremely heavy and hard to transport. And although that looks like a relief, it's just painted on there with heavy shadow underneath all the figures. So it makes them look 3D. The Sistine Chapel was so beautiful. I can't wait to tell you guys about it. Now we are in St. Peter's Basilica. It is gorgeous. It's cool they let you film in here, so I can show you guys a little bit. I love the way the light comes in. They have like windows up on the ceilings, which lights up all the gold. My neck is actually really starting to hurt because I've been looking up so much, especially in the Sistine Chapel. There's beautiful floors, there's beautiful walls, and there's beautiful ceilings. So you're constantly just like turning your neck all around. That's why a lot of my shots have been panning shots of the whole thing, because you can't miss any of this detail. Sometimes I like to imagine that if there was a statue made of me, what position I would be in, because you can tell based on the position that they're in, like what kind of person they were. Like if they were a scholar or like a warrior, a goddess of fertility or a goddess of war, and I just wonder what my statue would be like. And this is the first sculpture Michelangelo ever made, at least the first one he ever made that became famous. And he made it when he was 23 years old, and now we're in the dome that he constructed on the last thing he ever constructed when he was 89. So we're in the last thing, looking at the first thing. And here's a view from the outside. And there's the balcony where the Pope would stand to address everybody. It is extremely hot out today, and there's one strip of shade coming from this guy. And they've already found it. I'm going to join them in there, cool off a little bit before lunch. We stopped at a little pizza place for lunch, and they cut your pizza up and then weigh it, and then the amount you have to pay is based on the weight. I don't know what this is called, but it's pizza with like cabbage on top and eggplant. I got some with potato, which was really good. Tastes like a baked potato. Gelato number 2, coffee. You have banana?
Vanilla.
Vanilla, vanilla.
I want to get a standard. Check it out.
Yeah, mine's pretty standard too. Maybe we'll go crazy for the next one. Try one we never tried before.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not that crazy.
It's pretty hard to say no. I said
She was too cute. I had to give her €2.
She wasn't that cute.
She was cute.
No euros for you.
She was like, oh, I'm just gonna give you money because you're cute. I don't even care about the music.
What you are now, we once were. What we are now, you will be. So at the end of the day, once we all die, we turn into skeletons nonetheless. So it's just a reminder, there are 2 child skeletons which have had wings attached to them to make it look like they're angels, and they're on the ceiling and on the wall on the first crypt as you walk in. What I'd recommend...
We're about to enter a Capuchin monk crypt, and it is known for being made up of and decorated with the bones of monks that have passed away. A long time ago they had a graveyard for monks and it became full, and they had to gracefully remove the bones, and they were trying to think of what to do with them, and they decided to use them as decoration in this crypt. So unfortunately we can't film inside, but like the chandeliers, the wall decorations, everything is made up of these bones, and including children's bones. It's not supposed to be a scary thing at all, but I'm interested to see how I feel when I see these bones hanging on the walls. Wow, that was a very interesting experience. I don't know how I feel about that. I can't imagine my bones being on display for tourists to come see. I'm sure it's like a cultural difference that I can't understand, but I didn't feel like it was respectful. Like, I felt weird. I don't know, it was very strange. There was children bones and stuff that was hard for me to look at. And some of them still had the skin on their faces. You could still see their facial expression. Taking a stroll down the Spanish Steps. And it's pretty great right now because it's actually so hot out that no one's sitting on the steps, or like very few people. Usually it's completely crowded. You can't find a seat. But as you can see, very empty. It would probably burn your butt if you tried to sit on it.
This beautiful column is the column of Marcus Aurelius, or St. Paul's column, because at the moment, or since the 1500s, the man at the top is a picture of the statue of St. Paul when it was restored in the 15th century.
Okay, you guys see this building? 11 of the columns are original Roman columns, and in the 17th century they were allowed to, they're no longer allowed to do this, but they were allowed to add new additions to old ruins. So you can see the original columns here and then the newer buildings on this side.
One more, get in there. Oh, we're so wet. Oh, there it is, the golden ones. So, the Pantheon is just beyond those 2 buildings there, okay? We've met some pretty old stuff in Rome. However, this building was built in 27 BC, which means it's 2,041 years old, okay?
And that is the Pantheon. That is exactly what I imagine when I think of old Roman buildings. This building is 2,040 years old, I think, and it is magnificent. Look at that. I wish so badly I could go back in time and see what this was like. And just to walk through here as a Roman. Look at that beam of light. We are in the San Eustachio Cafe. New York Times voted it the best coffee in Italy. So we're trying it out. And I got something that I've never ordered before. What's it called?
Shakerato.
Shakerato. It's like a cold coffee drink. Not sure what's in it. It looks good and it's hot out. So let's try it. So this is the best coffee in Italy. It's really, really good.
Of the cream going in.
So technically you're not supposed to give tours around Rome unless you're like a licensed tour giver, but our tour guide Joe from Kentucky, just kind of as a favor and just for fun, gave us a little tour around Rome. And this is the Fountain of the Four Rivers, and each of these guys, these figures, represents a different river around the world. And the coolest thing is that this whole square used to be an amphitheater, and they used to flood the amphitheater to put on performances that took place like on the sea. So they would have ships in the water, in the flooded amphitheater, and perform like plays that took place in the water. So we're basically just playing a game that's put as many things in your body as possible.
And try, see who can not get sick.
I know, cheers.
Cheers.
Look at that, official Peroni glass and everything. I'm so saturated right now, and I don't even care. We had to take a little break because we're getting some gifts that require us to wait 45 minutes for them. Can't tell you what they are because people who are getting the gifts watch the videos. Cheers to you guys. We think. Cheers to you guys. We're gonna relax for a little bit before we go see the Coliseum. That is the biggest pizza I've ever seen.
Do it.
Let us know how it is.
Oh,
That's the biggest bite I've ever seen.
it's like
Good?
leaking.
Okay, now, if the gate is open,
Road trip this way.
yes it is, but we have only 2 minutes. I don't want to miss this opportunity because they're cleaned the facade of the Coliseum. They completed the cleaning of the Coliseum only 2 weeks ago. All the best.
Massive.
What the years?
I've often wondered how you get up to here.
We've made our way into the Coliseum, and a lot of it has eroded, pieces are missing, it's been refurbished, but there's a little space at the top of this arch that is the original detail on it, and I'll show it to you. That detail covered the entire roof at one point. Now it's just a small little section. Okay, all of those little tunnels down there, those were covered up by the stage that was covered in sand, and that's like a little underground thing with trap doors where they would, like, once you got killed you'd fall through the trap door, or like lions would come up from the trap doors. Looks like
Oh, you can try, my girl, and hopefully you'll succeed. From the first time I saw you, I felt something. So go ahead and please believe me. I'll be fine in life just knowing you need me. Go chase your dreams, I'll find you in my sleep. And oh, carry me from the hard times. We will breathe, we will breathe. Oh, if we get stuck in ruts that we cannot beat, we will paint a better future to conceive. Cause I know, my love, if you're unhappy, I would die inside, so don't do that to me. Said I would die inside, so don't do that to me. Oh, I would die inside, so don't do that to me.